And we should be live. We will give it just a moment for everybody to roll on in here. It was not pre-listed, so this will be the first notification going out for tonight's stream. So I'm not surprised that we do not have anyone just yet. But Ed, thank you for joining me as usual. I hope you're doing well. I hope things are progressing along nicely in the fish room.
Didn't get to work on it today.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, my sister's making a ton of money right now. She's
nice.
making masks.
Okay.
Let's see. Off of Etsy. She's got so many orders. It's been crazy. She got, I don't know, I think she got an order for like 50 of them yesterday. So
wow.
She's got her whole family as an assembly line putting them together. And I asked her to give me a link, and they haven't been even looking at their cell phones, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's awesome, though. Because they're really neat. They kind of, they fit real tight, like, and they're all different designs.
So like even if you've got like a goatee, you can still wear one and it'll go around versus just the little right here.
Yeah, it goes underneath your chin.
Nice.
Now yours might be almost too big.
Well, I usually cut underneath here, so it would it would fold up, but it's about the same base as yours, so to speak. So
yeah. I'm going to mute myself for a second so I can go online and go to our thing so I can hit like.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't see anybody, so it's not like you're keeping an audience waiting. But if nothing else, you and I will just hang out and shoot the breeze live and wait for people to show up. I should have brought my phone in here so I could let the Zen Ginger know that I was in fact going to go. Let me send out a message real quick. It's amazing the difference the notification makes with people showing up or not. Find my messenger. I'm going to close some things down also because I am on the Wi-Fi currently. Normally I do all sorts of fancy stuff ahead of the streams to post everywhere. Hey, Chewy LTD, glad to see you. We have one. I appreciate you showing up, Chewy. I hope you're doing well. How things are kind of interesting up there in Canada right now. Got a friend up there that I talk to on a daily basis. It's been telling me what's going on with his work and whatnot. And so I hope you're doing okay. I know that you're, I guess, a little bit more used to having to being at home than most of us anyway. So hopefully it's not affecting you too much in your day-to-day. Griffin Fish Room, hello and welcome. Glad to have you here.
Hey, Griff. Well, I'm not getting any of my my chat's not popping. I don't see anybody. Oh, it just popped. Oh, and Susan's here too.
Yes. Hi, Miss Susan. I hope you're doing okay. Haven't talked to you lately. I hope things are well and that you are staying blessed.
Well, I am going to set up 2 tubs probably on Monday.
Very nice.
And now I'm trying to decide what to put in them. I've got my pond guppies that I want to do for sure that are super pretty.
Right.
You know, they kind of glow from above.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking of the Nebula Steel. Ooh. Maybe because I've got quite a few of them. I could take 50. I've got probably about 30 to 35. I figure I could put 15 outside and 15 inside.
That would be nice.
And or I could put one. I've got 2 colonies of blue Moscows and the experimental Moscows. I've got quite a few of them, but you know they're just not looking as good as I'd like them to.
Right.
But you know I keep calling the boys because the females weren't Moscow females. I had a lot more Moscow boys. I don't know if anybody out there knows that, but I ended up with 4 boys and 2 girls. I had reverse trios. So what I did was I just basically put 2 of the boys in a tank with blue neon females. Nice. And I was just going to keep weeding them out.
Right.
And I don't know. The boys just keep coming out looking like neons instead.
Just can't get them to turn over to the steels, huh?
I know. They keep. I mean, they look like good pond guppies, kind of too, because they look like it in between my pond guppy and my nebulous steel. It's really strange because they're kind of a steelhead blue thing. But what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say hello. We had some more people join us. Aquatic Nest, glad to have you here. Rob's Aquariums, William Pridemore, Thomas C, Sean OOTD, Fishy Fun 57. Thank y'all for joining. No, I think that would be neat to tub those. Are you going to throw any shrimp out there with them? I know you probably already got a billion cherry shrimp anyways, but
yeah, I probably will. I might wait a little bit for that, just for the plants to take off a little bit more for the shrimp. But yeah, I will definitely throw some shrimp out there just to see what happens. I mean, I've got millions of mollies, and I've got lots of platies. They're breeding now, so I could even do mollies or platies. I don't want to put mollies and guppies will breed together, but the platies won't. So I could put platies in with one of the guppy tank tubs and throw both.
How bad are the mollies or the other? Sorry, at picking off fry? Will they go after a lot of your guppy fry if you do that?
Well, I have them in there with 5 female virgin full-grown guppies, so there's no guppy fry in there, but there's a lot of platy fry. So,
gotcha.
But I mean, there's also a lot of duckweed too. So,
that makes a difference. So I'm going to do something a little different than the usual. And we did talk about it on Thursday. I'm going to throw the link out in the chat if anybody would like to come up on the show. We just ask that you keep it somewhat family friendly, and that we have some inkling of who you are. So there's that. If anyone would like to join tonight, we are just going to go until 9:00, unless it turns into just some sort of, amazing, can't stand to stop it type of night. We'll stick to our schedule. I say scheduled, but our plan is 9:00 in time. But Chewy LTD said platies are predatory or can be on guppy fry. Hiding spaces also help, like you mentioned. And of course, every fish has a different nature, a different attitude. You can get 2 of the same type of fish and they act completely differently. But I think that's going to be awesome.
It's killing me because I've got these 5 beautiful tequila sunrise guppies, females, in with those platies. But all the adult guppies died that I bought from this local pet store, but they managed to have a couple of babies, and I've raised them, and I mean, they're full-grown, gigantic girls.
Very nice.
So I just need to get some good-looking yellow male be their husband.
There you go. Well, that'll be awesome.
I haven't found one yet.
Well, and I know that you were very meticulous when it comes to picking your guppies in terms of what you look at, which, I mean, with good reason, especially with, intentions of doing the IFGA and whatnot. I'm a little bit more lax in my guppy picking. I just go, oh, that's pretty. And then it's like, well, that one's got a bit back, or that one's got its fin is not shaped the way it should be, or, that type of stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. But you've got gorgeous guppies.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'd love to try to get some pretty tequila guppies eventually here. My local pet store, they just got some tequila. Or no, they weren't tequila. They were pineapple. Oh, gosh. Snakeskin males. But I don't know. I don't want to do those either. I'm being picky.
Let's see. Chewy's putting together an upcoming album review video with possible interview. And there is. Chewy LTD says Jesse's friend has a strain of tequila sunrise, but not the Delta tailed ones. And
I've thought about even putting one of Jesse's boy Dumbo ear dragons with them just to see what would happen, because I don't want the girls are almost 9 months old. They probably got to.
Right.
another year left on them, so just to see what would happen, I think it might be fun because Jesse's fish is amazing.
I think that definitely could be interesting. Hello to Muppet 929 and Alice. Good to see you. Alice says Aquamate is streaming too. Awesome. I always encourage anyone, if you want to stream. I don't care who else is on, including myself. So that's awesome. I hate that I'm missing him. I may pop that on if he's still on after we're done. Hey, Big J, glad to see you. I hope the new fish are doing well. And Benoski's tanks, I appreciate you swinging by. Chewy LTD says that would be an interesting cross or breed to an albino galaxy. Ed.
Well, he means the tequilas, or the tequilas aren't very high grade. I mean, they're just pet store height. They're a good pet store one.
Right. But I'm sure that you could breed them out real nice and cull, for lack of what I'm looking for, and come up with a really, really nice strain after a couple of generations of them, if you wanted to, which I know that you enjoy that from talking to you. I'm working on that now that I've got those guppies from Mike. I want to start doing trying to get really nice pure strains going and culling things out. So I may be on the phone with you going, hey, Ed, look at these. Which one should I take out?
Well,
so
and then I bought that book that cost $50. It's all about genetics also, that already has a lot of the stuff photoed. It's all colored. It's amazing. I can't wait to get it, but I have to wait till the end of April because of Amazon being in slowdown. And Susan asked why I have the red beard. I'm from originally Kansas City, and my Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and so I'm keeping it red all year long.
Very nice. Let's see. Fishy Fun 57 says I have a bunch of virgin black Moscow females, as the male died and fry are all girls. You should be able to find some nice male black Moscows from what I've seen on the interwebs. I'm sure there are a couple of really nice or high quality breeders that probably have some good black Moscows. I don't know if Doug Gray does Moscows. I know he's one of those like premium guppy people, but
I don't know if he has. Oh, he does have some blacks. He just got some, but he can tell you where to go if you don't.
Yeah, he would be someone.
There's
someone to talk to.
There's a wonderful breeder. He costs a lot. He's on Aquabid that Doug buys from, and maybe I should let Doug say who it is, just so I don't let any secrets out of the bag, because he sent that to me email. And I don't want to, break any secrets.
Yeah, don't do that.
But eventually I'm going to start ordering from that guy too. Yeah. Well, that's it. ATFG is who he got it from. So Chewy said it.
There you go. Chewy let the cat out of the bag. That works. Thank you, Chewy. Yeah.
At least it's not my fault that But yeah, they've got some amazing guppies, and I've got my eye on about 3 different strands of theirs that I'm gonna get once my fish room's done.
Very nice. Yeah, Nightbot gets picked on here a lot. Susan was pointing out that Cody sometime Nightbot out. Let's see. FishFan57 says I need to wait until May so it's warm enough to ship. Yeah, I've got a bunch of baby plecos I need to start shipping out as soon as I know that the weather's going to be good for it. I've got a lot of fish stuff I need to get done that I was hoping I could try and get to while I was stuck at home the past couple of days, but it just did not happen.
It was 85 here.
Yeah.
I was driving to the grocery store for my parents. They needed some stuff, so my parents are just quarantined and they're not leaving their house. And so I said, I'll just get anything and everything they want. So I've just been doing all their errands. And there were girls in bikinis in the lake. I couldn't believe it this time of year.
Yeah, it's been nice weather lately. I'm just afraid that I'm going to, well, plus everything that's going on with shipping and whatnot, but I'm worried I'll ship it out and it'll be like that one really cold spike that we get that comes out of nowhere. So, but it's coming soon. Chewy LTD says the line I have was very similar out of Thailand, Ed. Only mine was crossed with a gold platinum, and a percentage had gold spots, which would have to be bred to taste. Well, that's pretty cool sounding. And Susan, thank you very much, Susan, for SLC Aquatics. Says James, your background rocks. I appreciate that. I love my angels and my Bichers and whatnot back there. The Giveaceps plecos. Fishy Fun 57 says currently it's 33 degrees Fahrenheit. At night is bloody cold. Yeah, so that's my concern more is where am I shipping it to? Is it going to be, too cold on that end? But I think I'm going to do my test run with the Zen Ginger. Ship some out to her in Texas, and then I know 44 Mag guy. I've promised some baby plecos to him, and then there's somebody else. Oh, I've got to get with 2 other people, but I've got plenty of babies. So, of course, I've got to take some down to the LFS, but I've got tons and tons and tons, so not a problem.
That's great, Susan. That is so nice when you get somebody bought all of her guppies in one mass.
Oh, wow.
And she sent them all, and they all made it. That's just wonderful.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I see that. My guppies made it all the way to Utah with no heat pack due to my ignorance. They were great. Well, that's phenomenal. It's always nice when the fish make it alive, especially when something has been flubbed along the line, so to speak. You're like, oh, no, I goofed up, but okay, everything turned out all right.
Yeah, I'm pretty much anymore. Whenever I order guppies, I want to get either 2 trios or 3 pair, just because somebody may not make it.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, King and Queen Cichlids, I appreciate you joining us. Chewy, or excuse me, Cody, someone's asking Chewy, was it the Kaimuki backyard that had the tequilas? I'm sure I messed that up, but you got the point. But yeah, I don't know. I've looked at some guppies online, but I think now that I picked up the ones from Mike, when we were at the big fish deal, I'm just going to kind of play with the ones I've got, so to speak, and see how those do. I'm basically turning that quarantine rack, the 16 10-gallon tanks, I'm basically turning that into a guppy factory almost, if you will. I'm going to leave the bottom 4 tanks for quarantines, but the other 12 tanks are going to be for guppies, and then a couple of strains of shrimp. Like I've got some orange Neocaridina shrimp in one of them, and I think that's the only thing that I'm leaving there. The other stuff's going to move to 20 longs out in the hallway on that rack system.
Your albino platinums are in a separate tank, right?
Yeah, the albino platinums are in a 20 long right now. I'm going to be moving them into a 40 breeder. That 7 pairs are going to go into a 40 breeder.
Man, that is a great way to get a colony.
Yeah, I lucked out on that one. So I'm hoping,
and they are a beautiful fish.
Well, I appreciate that. Not as pretty as yours, but they're still nice looking.
I wish I would have never said that. I felt terrible.
Oh, you're fine, buddy. But I mean, yours really are better looking, so it's not like you were just being, mean about it. You've got absolutely gorgeous ones. So.
Well, I only said it because I was thinking, well, I would be able to give you some in a few, well, probably not, maybe in 5 or 6 months, but
right.
Maybe I could still give you a couple boys just to add to their DNA to make them even a little more juicy.
That would definitely be cool. I'd love to work out something on that to freshen mine up, if you will, because I'm sure mine are all from the same genetic stock, almost guaranteed, given that they came from a vendor or distributor.
Well, I tell you what, I heard something that I thought you might find interesting today on Stephen Conroy's.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that right? On his show, on it, his live stream, SC Aquatics. He was talking about he just met a new breeder in Ohio that breeds piranha.
Awesome.
And he was talking about it. They have 4 pairs, or he has 4 pairs,
mm-hmm.
and he rotates them every week. He takes the male and the female pair and puts them in a 200-gallon tank, and he gets about 2,000 eggs out of them. And he just rotates them. And he's selling them all to Chicago.
Yeah, see what they did here, even though we can still keep them, they changed the law up so that we can't bring them in across state lines. So whatever's here is here, even though they're still legal to keep. I'm going to jump in on the chat real quick. Chewy LTD says, what year would you not want to have your honeymoon at Niagara Falls? Skill testing, U.S. American history question, and why Fisher and Fever?
That's where my mom and dad had their honeymoon.
I don't. I'm sure that there's a year that I definitely don't want to be there, especially given that he's already pointed out that this is an American history question, and I'm going to fail it with the Canadian asking me American history. So that's going to be all the more sad on my part.
What year did the Canadians burn the White House down?
So I don't. I'm sure he'll pop in and say the year that we definitely don't want to be there. I don't ever want to have a honeymoon there. No, no, I don't know. I don't have a year. I could throw one out there just for giggles and grins, but in terms of the American history part of that, you have stumped me, good sir, and kudos to you. Hello, Mickey M. And Scott from King and Queen Cichlid says, so Fisher and Fever, I heard you picked up a lot of fish at the Big Fish Deal. What'd you get? A ton of cichlids. Lots of cichlids, some bichers, a couple other things, but about $500 worth of cichlids at the auction. I couldn't even give you all the names of them. Shai could probably tell you. I did do an unbagging video of all of it that night when I unbagged it or did a live stream. But I honestly couldn't even tell you all the different types of cichlids. That was all stuff for Miss Fever, you know, keep the missus happy. And I have fallen in love with a lot of those. But oops, looks like we lost Ed for a moment. Andy's back, I think. But we filled a good portion of the back of Ed's truck up with stuff that I picked up. So I was quite happy.
Completely packed.
So he picked up some different shrimp, some Caradinas, some Neo Caradinas, which the green jades, and then the black bees. Most of it was cichlids, though.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I came home with cichlids. I came home with a whole army of them. I bought a whole tank out. I think I ended up with 18 or so of them. And what I did was I cut up a whole bunch of PVC pipe and I dropped it in the tank. And when I dropped the bloodworms in there, it's so funny because as the bloodworm drifts by the PVC pipe, you just see their little, I go, it's so awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
They're mean little guys, what I bought. Let me try to find their name. Oh, gone it. I don't know.
Okay, so Fishy Fun 57 says 1814 they burned the White House. It was the War of 1812.
And you could argue, though, as an American, that it wasn't the Canadians that burned it down, but the British, because the Canadians weren't really a country. They were just, but I won't go there because I know they're very proud of that fact.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of like I made a joke. One of my buddies online, he's British, and they're with everything going on over there right now. He's like, "You people haven't overthrown your government." I'm like, "No, it's really not bad over here right now. Yeah, they're doing some, stay-at-home stuff." And he's like, "Well, we need you to overthrow yours so you can come do ours." And I like, "We did that already, and then we can't, we left y'all alone." He's like, "Yeah, but you didn't come back and finish the job." I'm like, well, that wasn't our place.
Okay, so this is what my little blue guys are. They're SATS NOPESCA. That.
Yeah. Scott can probably pronounce it, as could Chewy and several others in here. Myself, no. Let's see. Scott was talking about he's been deemed essential. Yeah, I understand. I've got to go back tomorrow, even though several doctors have advised that I'm not to return to work, that I'm supposed to stay at home under the quarantine, but because the test results have not come back, and it's not, I guess I'll say a confirmed case. my work is screwing around with it doesn't count. So I'm going back tomorrow, even though I am supposed to be under quarantine. So we'll see how that plays out. But I can definitely understand, certain businesses, and it's weird. Some of the things, like Scott said, though, only 10% of the business they do is actually the part that they're saying, "Oh, you're essential." It's weird how some of the businesses work. There, Mickey M has got what I'm not going to try and pronounce up for you, Ed. See if maybe that's it or not.
Thanks, Scott, for the congratulations. I appreciate that.
Big J, I think I started it and didn't finish it, in all honesty. Big J asking if I saw the video with the new cichlid. I think I started it, and then I got to trying to play around with my new phone to get the video quality changed over, because it's like if you up the quality, you have to lower the refresh rate. I don't think I ever finished it because then I just got mad at my phone. But I will go back and finish that up. I've got it on my watch later. I know that much. So I will go back and just double check that I finished it. But the past couple days, so much of it is just a blur that I can't promise that I did watch the whole thing. King and Queen says, I have a paper on my window permitting me to go to work. Yeah, our corporate sent that out for everybody that we had to print out that showed for anybody that pulled us over that we were deemed essential personnel and to leave us alone, basically.
Mikey M said that those little things are demon whatever things. My little blue cute fish.
And somebody had asked, it was also Mickey M that said, I wanted those teleogramma. Have never seen them before. There was some really nice stuff. I will say that she was definitely pleased with the cichlids that came home. And I absolutely fell in love with the black Calvus. I had not seen those before. I ended up, 2 of them made it, 2 of them did not. But I'll probably end up picking up a couple more someday when I redo fish tanks and, change things up. If I have a cichlid tank, that's what I'll have going into it. Hey, Dr. Black. Sorry.
Yep. Hey, Dr. Black. I don't even see him, but I'm just saying, hey, from what you said.
Absolutely.
I'm going to put those little cichlids in a 40 breeder, and I'm going to try my hand at making my own background with the foam, that spray foam. And I'm going to put PVC pipe all over it and throw an old magnet, one of these scraper things in there. Whoops. I just lost it. Hopefully I didn't crush a snail. But, and so that way it'll stick to the back.
That'd be very cool. I look forward to seeing that one.
It might look like garbage, but I'm going to try it.
You never know. It's always worth a shot. You don't know until you try. And even if it does look like garbage, you'll probably learn how to do it better the next time around. So,
yep.
When in doubt, just try it out.
Well, and I'm going to have fun with these guys because, my guppies just like to swim around plants. And so these things like cave. So I thought, I'm going to do something different with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right now I'm housing some of the smaller ones that I got from the auction in a 40 breeder, and they've colored up really, really nice. But once they get a little bit bigger in size and they can go into her main tank, I can have that back. And I think that's where the albino platinums will end up going in there with the bristlenose pair. So Tommy Shaw from Styx is doing a premiere in about an hour or so. Was it? Yeah, I guess it was Fishy Fun 57 that mentioned. A lot of stuff going on right now with streams, which is awesome. Let's see. You want to pronounce that one, Ed, from Susan?
Oh, okay. Santa O Pisica? Pesica? Santa O Pisica. I don't know. I'm terrible.
Close enough. Yeah, that's Sateo Pesca Archmapa Cara cichlid.
Yeah,
we'll give it a
these
go.
aren't Acaras. These are the first part, but the last part is Maparapis, Mapiriteris. That's the second part of their name.
Yeah, see, I prefer to just go with electric blue Acara.
Yeah. Well, these are powder blues. They're just pretty little guys.
They're that's what. Yeah. Hello, Kenny from Aquatic Marine. I appreciate you swinging by. Yeah, they are all cichlids. Yes, thank you for the easy sound out there. I appreciate that. But yeah, beautiful fish. I kind of forgot about my Tetra tank almost, if you will. I've got about 35 or so in a 40 breeder because I kind of mixed them up. And what I mean by forgot is I hadn't really spent a lot of time looking at them. And then I just walked by and looked the other day because they're down. They're the lower tank on the rack, so they're not up at chest or eye level or in plain view a lot. But I kind of saw them as I was going through the hallway and looked over, like, wow, there's some really, really pretty tetras in there. So that's kind of been my my new channel, if you will, that I've been watching a lot lately. Is that little tetra tank that I've got set up.
Very cool.
But other than that, not a whole lot of new stuff. I did try out the filming on the new phone. Looks like it's going to be really nice. I was actually going to try and set up tonight to stream in front of the tank with the new saltwater monster. But it's just right now with her being basically in her quarantine tank, in the back bedroom. I've also got the kids, which is why I keep listening to make sure nothing's crashing or exploding or anything like that. And then Kenny just asked about it. Have you done the reveal of that thing that you got last week? I may be able to go out there real quick with the link myself on the phone and go out there and do it. We could try that. Okay, if you want to take over for a minute, I'll see if I could do that because I did mention showing it tonight.
Sure.
So give me just a moment. I will be right back.
Well, I'll tell you about some of the other fish I bought while I was there. I bought two. Oh gosh, now I can't remember what type of bichir they are. Ornate bichirs, and they're super pretty, and they're doing good. I got to grow them out because they're about the size of my pinky finger right now. And then I lost two tetras. I was like bidding in the auction. I wanted to bid on something. So when they would put tetras up, I would bid on those. And I bid on 6 Congos, and one didn't make the trip home. But the other 5 are still kicking good. And I bid on, I think it was 5 Penguin tetras. And I paid too much for them. And one of them passed away on my way home, but they're all doing good. And then I had 3 Inlers that I got from Mike from Fish Tank Barn, and some of his Goodiots too, and they're all doing well. So really, can't complain about anything dying. It was been very lucky, and I got I think about 40 Neocarantina black bee shrimp, and they're in with the Lucas Brett's guppies. And I know it's not the best situation having those together like that, but I had to put them somewhere. And they're all happy. And then I bought some other shrimp, and I'm not even for sure what I was buying. See, I was buying whatever was left after the show was over. And people were just kind of coming up to me asking if I wanted it, and then they would like either give it to me free or real cheap. And so I don't even know what these shrimp are I don't know what color they'll be when they get big enough. But I got a bag of them. So yeah, that was pretty good. We had such a wonderful time. Looking forward to next year and seeing Scott there. That'll be really cool. And anybody else that wants to show up. And Susan, have you already left to what is it, West Virginia or just Virginia? And let's see. Hey, Anthony, how are you doing? I bought. Oh, very cool. My pet store, my local pet store, what they're doing is they're keeping their door open. And he said he was going to put a chain across the front of the door. So he was just going to let people come in, depending on if he has like 2 workers, because he normally just has 1 or 2. And if he just has him there, then he'll take them in and everybody else has to wait outside. And if he's got one of his workers there, then he'll let 2 groups of people in. And I'm pretty sure James said the exact same thing at his local pet store they're doing, because I was thinking about heading to Knoxville just for a filter. And then I was like, yeah, that's a waste of money just to drive all the way up there for 1 filter. But he said what they're doing is you go to the front door and they are only letting like 2 or 3 people into their store at a time. So good quarantine. How are you doing it, Big J? Are you guys like letting people in? You guys can, I was going to say jump into the chat, because we left a link for people to come in if anybody's backstage. Unfortunately, James isn't at his computer to let you in. Okay. So Susan, you're at home, just talking to your mom on the phone. Well, that's probably the safest thing right now in these situations. But hopefully everything will work out for the best in that situation. It's always a bummer to do something like, or, have family stuff like that. That was, it was kind of a blessing when I hurt my back, because I was able to move down here and help my mom out and my dad out so much. So my mom basically doesn't drive at all anymore, and my dad can't drive at night. And, they just need extra help nowadays for everything. Like, I can't even park in the front. If I have to get my mom, I have to get her through the garage because she can't handle stepping down the porch steps. But, oh well. Life, it's always throwing curves at you, and it never stays perfect. If it's perfect, something's probably wrong. You're probably a bad person. No, that's not true. Okay, well, Big J says he has a small store and only has a couple of people at a time. We tell people to wait outside until the others are done. So basically what my store is doing. And I appreciate that, Susan. She says I have a big cart and that I understand stuff, and I try. Even though sometimes I don't say it quite right. But well, I wonder if James is having any luck hooking up. But I don't know what else is going on. It has been neat though, seeing all the other channels. Like Sean Peck had a live stream a couple days ago, and I missed that, and I was like bummed out. Yep. The the local fish stores are considered essentials because of the pet food and the pet supplies. And I don't know if I showed you guys yesterday, but I decided to do something different. I normally always buy a can of omega-1 flakes every week, and that's my morning food for my guppies every day. Well, that was costing me about $15 a week. And so I bought 150 pound, no, not 150. I bought a 10-pound bag for $150. And then I put it in all my empty containers. And I'm just going to pop it over there to show you how much that actually filled. It's kind of staggering. That's 11 cans of food plus
I've got 9 of these 1 pound cat treat things filled with omega-1. I think I'm saving about $300-400 on this deal. So just throwing that out there. If anybody else goes through lots of food at a time. Whoa, did I just? Oh, okay, good. I thought I just lost y'all. But it's a great way to save some money. And then I'm going to probably throw it in a freezer so that way it just stays a little better. And I still buy all my frozen foods at the local pet store to help them out. Okay. Oh, you know, I was thinking about getting swordtails also for tubbing because I just thought they would grow so big. Somebody asked about what would be a good fish to tub. And I suggested swordtails, and then I started thinking about it for myself. Because, whoops. Oh, my sister's calling me. I'm going to just hang up on her. I asked her to give me a link. She's selling those masks on Etsy, and I asked her to give me a link, and I was going to post it for you guys. But yesterday I was talking to someone about good ideas for ponds, and I don't think they wanted to do guppies, so I suggested swordtails. And I was thinking, man, those things would grow big and fast. That'd be a pretty good way to do it. Now, Fishy says, now you need to pop the cans in the... Oh, okay, that's what I got to do is put them in the freezer. Right now, my freezer, I've got it overly packed, and my sister's calling me again. My freezer's like overly packed with stuff because of all the food stuff. And James has got something going on. I don't know what that is. But I've got a lot of frozen fish food in there. I stocked up on that. I bought 3 cases of 2
All right.
bloodworms.
Hopefully this doesn't echo.
Ooh, that's really pretty.
Now that's just some poster board I've got back there right now.
I like it.
Let me turn it down. So I may not be able to hear you. Cannot see the chat, but let me see if I can get her to come out. Normally, as soon as she hears a motion on the top of the tank, she knows that food's about to come in because that's the only time the top of the tank gets messed with.
James, can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got it turned almost all the way down.
What is this type of eel called?
This is a tessellata. She is a big girl, and she eats a lot.
Yeah, and before everybody complains about him being in too small of a tank, this is just temporary right now. But she needed a home, and so he got her.
Yeah, they're working on shutting down one of the big tank, the 1,200 gallon, because they're wanting to move some stuff around and redo some things because, you know, they're always improving. So, but she was in there, and so this is going to be her quarantine for the time being until I get a bigger tank set up. With everything else that's been going on, it's been interesting, but there we go.
Yeah, she's neat.
But she's got all the rocks moved around how she wants them. So she's got her little tunnel section in the back, and then it slinks around over through there and up through the middle of the tank. But as soon as she hears movement on the top, I actually took and cut some wood to go on top to keep her in. And then I've got it weighted. And then I've got like the little window sensors that you can get that the alarm goes off if somebody opens the window. I've got one of those on each corner just in case she does push up on that wood, even though I've got it weighted down with like the cases of water. Even if she manages to start pushing, I'll hear the alarm go off, so we can keep her in the tank. That and keep the kids out of the tank. But that is the big girl. See if she'll poke her head back out. She found some more food.
Yeah, she is awesome.
Oh yeah, I love her, and she's right next to the couch at the moment. So I'm getting used to, she'll come up and she'll poke her head out right next to where my head sits and just sit and look at me.
She always this active?
What's that?
Is she always this active?
Only when you tap on the top of the tank, or at nighttime she'll get more active, but not usually like this. But she's gotten accustomed to where I have the boards, it makes noise when I move the tops around. So when she hears anything to do with the top of the tank, like if I set a plate down on it or I set my phone down on it, she assumes it's feeding time and she comes up over to this corner here where I slide the boards open enough to be able to put food in, but that way she can't get out and bite myself or anybody else.
Does it have to be pretty heavy so she doesn't jump out?
I've got a case of water on the boards right now, just as kind of a deterrent, a 32 case of water. She could probably push the boards open still, but as soon as she does that, and this is going to annoy some people, but if she moves any of these boards, well,
oh yeah, okay, no,
you got that alarm there. So, and I've got one on each corner. So if any of the wood gets moved around and she even starts trying to come out, I'll know it and I can respond to it. But she hasn't even tried to thus far. And I've got, of course, lots and lots of flow going right now. So I've got the canister filter that I won from the Big Fish deal, and then I've got I think 1,200 gallon per hour power head in there. Then I've got like a 650 with a polisher basket on it and some oh goodness, polyfill in there, which I need to change out again. But she's doing good. But that is the big girl. That's the new one. I'm going to drop the rest of these food pieces in here for her. I've been feeding her a handful of Monster Mix. I can't see the chat, but I'm going to assume somebody at this point has asked what she's being fed. They have a Monster Mix that I pick up at the LFS at Aquatic Marine. And it's got a whole variety of stuff. It's got silver sides and a whole bunch of other things in it. And she really likes that, as you can see. So she's been getting a handful of that every day. So what
Aquatic Marine says, well done, James.
Is leave this camera in here. Let me see if I can get this set up.
And Big J says, very nice.
Then I'll go back into the other room so I can have the chat and actually talk to you all.
Okay. Well, that's really cool. He had this fish in a gigantic tank at the pet store, and I don't know why they're tearing the tank down because it's so awesome. But they had like 400 maybe it was 1,000 clownfish in there. And so basically whenever the eel wanted to eat, it could just open its mouth and one would swim in. It was pretty cool. It's not a snowflake. It was I already forgot what it was called. We'll ask James in a minute. But yep. Thank you, Pam, for showing up. We always love having you here.
All right, I'm back. Of course, she's going to move out. Oh, there she is. So she's going to move out as soon as I come back in here. Kenny Aquatic Marine saying she is amazing. Yeah, she is absolutely beautiful. This one is called a Tessellata. I actually had a small snowflake that went back to Aquatic Marine. That way I could move all of that rock and stuff over from the other tank so that it wouldn't be going into an uncycled brand new tank. But yeah, she's absolutely gorgeous. I've wanted one for a while. Shy has wanted a Tessellata specifically for a while. So
Is
But-
she a type of snowflake?
I don't know that the
Or is
tessellatas are a type of snowflake. I think they're just kind of their own species. I can double
Cool.
check that. They may fall under the same type of thing, but I'm almost positive they're not, just simply because the facial structure is different. So she's got more of that kind of pointed moray look, and the snowflakes tend to have more of a rounded mouth on them.
Now, moray eels have two sets of jaws.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you know that? How
I've
one's
heard
back
that, but
in
I
their
forgot
throat,
until you mentioned it.
and it comes out and chews, and it's a lot like the aliens. You know how they have that little jaw that comes out,
Yeah.
and that'd be pretty creepy if this one had a second group of teeth for chewing in the back of its throat.
Yeah, she's an amazing fish. She's an amazing eel. Like I said, right now that tank sits like right here when I'm on the couch, and it's just like right there, that far away. So she's all the time. She'll like poke her little head out and just sit there and look at me, and I'll put my finger up and she'll follow my finger around. She'd take it off if I stuck it in the tank, but you know, it's been nice interacting with her, and she's getting settled in. The first day she just hid, understandably so, going from a 1,200 gallon to that small setup there, and not knowing what was going on. But after she got settled in and she moved all the rock around and pushed it and kicked the sand up and all that wonderful stuff, and kind of made it how she wanted it, she's been a lot happier.
Yeah, she's awesome.
If there was anything else that I missed in the chat while I was on the other camera in the other room, feel free to throw it back in there. But I did not have the chat available to me when I was in the other tank, when I was in the other room.
Susan's posted a link for the second set of jaws.
Oh, awesome.
Very
Thank
cool.
you. So this
Backing it up.
is, and that's the thing, you can get a lot of variation on the tessellatas in terms of the patterning. So for example, let me do this. Screen share that. So you can get, smaller pattern, bigger leopard pattern, a lot of different things going on with them. I just love the her design, her patterning is gorgeous. Take that back off there so we can take a look at her.
I wonder if
of course
the
she's
older
not
they
there.
get, the smaller it gets.
Possibly.
Because there was one that looked kind of thin, and I bet it was a real young one.
Yeah, and it seems like at least the ones I've had experience with in the past, and anybody else that's familiar, or specifically like Kenny's still in here, I think, can correct me. But it seems like I've always noticed that they grow out a good bit in length, and then they start to fatten up top to bottom, and then they'll just continue growing more proportionally from there. At least that's the experience I've had with eels in the past, but I've only had 5 or 6, 4 or 5. So.
She might like your tank better in some ways because she has more privacy now.
She does, and she definitely isn't. She's comfortable, and anybody that's kept fish for a long time, or eels, just about any pet, you can kind of tell when a creature gets settled in and they get comfortable. Like I said, she hasn't tried to get out, which has surprised me because this is the first eel I've ever had that didn't try and get out of the tank the first night. So she seems happy. She's not been upset. She's not been real mopey. She's eating well. So
Susan, my sister's fine. I've been asking her to give me a link to her Etsy page for the last week, and she just finally did it by the time after the show started. So I'm not going to link it for everybody to see.
Right. Excuse me. Susan for SLC Aquatics says we are fish keepers, so we are always inside another tank. Yeah, absolutely. And then Aquatic Marine says we unloaded a 6-foot tall, 475 gallon bow front this week for the foyer, or the foyer, however you want to pronounce it. There will be another big tank in the future for Aquatic Marine. Good night, all. Stay fishy. Kenny, you have a wonderful night. I appreciate everything you do. And I appreciate you, hanging in there through everything that's going on with businesses and whatnot. I hope you have a great night, sir. Fishy Fun 57 asking, how expensive are the eels? This one I worked out a deal on. If you were to go get one this size, you're looking at several $100s for a large one. Several $100s. I mean, it wouldn't be any surprise to see it for, to pay $500 easily for one that size. And she is about 3.5 foot, maybe 34 inches. That's a 72-gallon bow front. So she is almost, not quite, but she's a good bit of the portion from one end to the other. And that's a 4-foot tank that way. So she's still got growing to do. They can get, 5 foot plus, 5 foot 10 inches, almost 6 feet. So she's nowhere near full grown, but she's still good size, right about 3.5 feet currently. And then she's about that big top to bottom. So she's a fatty.
Maybe instead of trying to put her in a 125 or a 200, we could try to build a fiberglass or
that would be cool.
What? Not a fiberglass tank. What are they called? Plywood tank. Stephen Conrad was talking about that too. Boy, I'm just stealing everything from that poor guy today.
Right.
But
in your defense, I planned out and designed a plywood tank 15 years ago, so don't feel bad.
Actually, so did I. Originally, I wanted to put one at my old house that was going to go from top to bottom in my living room.
Right.
And so, but then I ended up just saying, I'll forget it. And I went with the 200 tall.
Yeah.
But I still could do that, but he came up with a brilliant idea for the glass front that you look through, the window.
Yeah.
He was talking about like furniture, like glass tables.
Mm-hmm.
Looking on not Etsy, on Craigslist and things like that for, it's thick and
that's actually what I had. I had 2 of the 6-foot glass tables that were about that thick. And when I ended up moving out of that house, I was no longer going to have a concrete basement. So I ended up just leaving the glass there. But yeah, that's exactly what I was going to use, was the really, really thick glass tabletops.
If I would have thought of that, that would have just thought, I would have done that. I never thought about doing that.
Yeah. Well, that came from my, back in my broke fish keeping days. Not that I'm not still, we all struggle, but, back when I'm like, how can I make this? I'm like, wait a second. I've got 2 of these really heavy duty glass tabletops that are super thick. And I'm like, I can just reinforce with braces. So it's not putting a lot of additional pressure on a 6-foot span. Ingenuity through necessity.
Well, if you ever want to do it, I'd be more than happy to help. It'd be fun.
I think it'd be fun. I'm going to have to, I can't, if you ever want to build one at your house, I'd love to come help you, but I don't have the concrete foundation to do one at this point.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at, I've got my fish room is going to be built on this side of the basement, and it's about 14 by 20. And then I'm going to have probably a 14 by 14 square room that I'm just going to kind of store junk in, or if I ever want to spill over. And I was thinking, I could probably put a 1,200 gallon tank in real easy right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just wouldn't.
You know how cool that would be.
It's going to be loud though. That'd be the bummer. But yeah, that'd be super cool. Okay, well, that's down the road. Maybe that's my 3-year plan. This year, my plans are tubbing, a fish room, and trying to get some guppies in the IFGA. Next year, my plans are keep doing all that, but then try to put a little greenhouse in the backyard. Maybe the next year, big fiberglass tank would be fun. Oh,
absolutely. So I think it was Pam Punchy Paints. Yeah, was asking how long do they live. It's hard to find exactly. but you've got ranges for 20 years would be a safe bet in captivity. But I've seen all sorts of different reports. Here's one: depending on the species, morays can live anywhere from 10 to 30 years. Been reports of one moray living 80 years. Multiple captive specimens have lived over 80 years. There's one here known as the Brontevik eel, lived for 155 years.
Uh-oh, we lost James. 155 years, and that's it. Well, while James is gone, Susan, you'd probably like my sister's Etsy page. I think it's called something with blessings. So if I would ever find out. But yeah, my sister's a stay-at-home mom. She's going home to school to get some type of degree in medical management. But right now she can't go to school. So she's basically got her family. They're all making these masks, and they come down over your beard, so you can have a beard too. At least your goatee. I don't know. You'd probably let stuff in if it went over there. Yep, it's the Ed Show. So I'm promoting my sister. It's terrible. Oh, well, I don't know what happened. James says, guess that's good night. I don't know what happened. Well, I get, I don't know what happened. But okay, well, I guess we'll just call it a night. James,
You are still here. Okay.
Oh.
See, it was showing me that like everything was gone and you were gone and everything, which I mean, it is 9 o'clock and it was time to say goodbyes, but I'd rather do it properly.
Well, I was going to read what you said and then say goodbye.
But yeah, so thank you to everyone. Not sure what happened there. It's probably because I'm on the Wi-Fi. And she has the first thing when Shy Miss Fever found out she was being quarantined into the bedroom was, can you please move one of the TVs and the Xbox in there? So she's on the gaming console. I didn't want to hook up the wired internet tonight just because it screws with having the multiple Xboxes in this wire. The router setup is really ridiculous. I need to talk to Bentley now that he's back with Microsoft because he's the guy that can help me with that. But so that may have been where my Wi-Fi just kicked me off. So my apologies. But I'll start going back to wired going forward.
Yep, and eventually I'm going to have to figure out something so I can go into the fish room and actually do it. I have no signal in my fish room.
That'll be nice. But again, thank you to everybody. I hope you enjoyed the surprise, the monster eel reveal. I'll keep y'all updated, and of course I'll definitely do a video on getting her into her bigger tank, and just keeping everybody posted. But Ed, thank you for joining me. Thank you to everyone who showed up, the moderators, the chatters, the lurkers. I hope you all have a great night, and I'll turn it over to Ed.
Well, real quick, I think you could set up a Murphy cam on your eel and just have your eel on 24/7 because it is awesome how cool it is. But yeah, thank you everybody for showing up. I was kind of hoping we'd do a roundtable discussion with people like we used to.
Yeah, nobody wanted to come on tonight, so maybe right. Next time.
Yep. Or maybe we'll do an impromptu sometime.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you very much for coming. Stay healthy.